David, you will introduce yourself if the people who do not know you yet. So actually, the floor is yours.
Bang on. Thank you very much.
Bang on.
Thank you. Well, it's good to see everybody here. A privilege to be participating in another carrier community event. If you could pop my slides up, please. There we are. They're there. What I'd like to talk about is keeping relevant in a very changing world. From a wholesale carrier perspective, the landscape is changing fast. There you are. My name's David Duffett, and I'm from Simwood. Simwood are a UK and US-based wholesale carrier, but importantly, not only are we straight talking and forward thinking, but you see that bottom line there, we're software defined, a software defined carrier. And that's something to hold on to because it's a key differentiator. Now, in the world that's changing all of the time around us, in the global carrier space, I think that there are two words, and if we keep hold of those two words, and of course, importantly, take action on these two words, then we find that we are able to stay relevant. And those two words are simply functionality and connectivity. Functionality because, as we previously discussed at other carrier events, the money from minutes, the revenue from minutes that we all used to transit is going downwards. And so from a functionality point of view, what we need is value-added services to help that revenue go back up. So when I talk about functionality, I'm talking about value-added services in the carrier space that we can create and deliver. And so there are value to our clients that they can resell to their end users. And then there's connectivity. Now, for many years, of course, we've lived with the PSTN, the Public Switch Telephone Network. We've had voice over IP in the form of, well, H323 originally, and then SIP as the dominant protocol. And we're kind of getting augmented now with these over-the-top services that we all use. Now, fairly small audience survey, but how many people are using WhatsApp? A good number of people on the WhatsApp front, yes. Pretty much most people are using WhatsApp. There's about getting on for 3 billion users on WhatsApp, and I'm going to come back to that in a moment. So functionality and connectivity is where it's at. And when I talk about functionality, there's lots of different things. Another little audience survey. Has anybody ever heard of VCONs? Well, you're going to hear about it here first. VCON stands for Virtualized Conversation. It's like a PDF of a phone call or a V-card of a phone call. So we're all used to call data records, aren't we, in the telco world? We've got a record of who called who and when and how long it took. But a VCON can contain a call recording, a transcription of the call, an AI sentiment analysis. It can contain anything you want about the call. But here's the thing. It's a public format, a global format that can be shared amongst authorized users. And so what that does is it takes conversations and turns them into robot food for AI systems so that you can then base decisions on the big data you have from all of these different conversations. That's VCONs. Then we've got integrations with other systems. We can do calendar integrations and various other things. And then the big one down in the bottom there is conversational AI. And as a carrier, Simwood has developed an incredible conversational AI, which I demonstrated at a previous carrier community event in Berlin.
Don't start now.
No,
Don't start.
It featured Eric, the last one, but we've got a demo this time that's not going to feature Eric. Okay, we're back. Good, I'm glad that we're back. So that's the functionality piece. We've got to find value-added services that we can sell. Then the connectivity. This is where things are getting very interesting because we're no longer just using the PSTN or SIP. We're using, as we established, WhatsApp. We're using Microsoft Teams in the enterprise. We might be using Zoom, all of these different things for communication. And so when we think about connectivity, we've got to have a bigger picture in mind. And so at Simwood, we strive to connect to these newer services so that we can give people the option of connecting. Now, when you think about the general way that telecoms services are built, you find that people buy boxes. So if you're a telco and you want to do call recording, you might buy a call recording solution. And then you might want Microsoft Teams integration. So you might want another box. The trouble is with all of these boxes, and this is kind of the legacy methodology, if you like, all of these boxes have costs associated with them, with the upkeep of the hardware, with the licensing. They've probably all got different APIs which you're trying to tie together. And so as you buy all these boxes, you end up with this sort of nest of things. And I'm using an old money demonstration here. I've got CD players there. So you've got a lot of CD players that are all connected to give you the telco functionality that you're looking for.
I still have that one.
You've got one of those CD players, Eric. Good for you. They might come back in, like record players, one day. Now, at Simwood, we've developed an IP native, globally distributed core that's got all of our functionality in it under our own API with our own technology around it. And it's delivered IP native and API first. So anybody can come in and use that functionality and start it up and stop it and get it on demand through this thing. We call it the potato because we've got diagrams that make it look like a potato, but it's actually our core network. And if CD players are the old analogy, I want you to think about the Spotify of carrier services. Imagine being connected to somewhere where you could get whichever service you wanted at the time you needed it and pay per use. So you don't even have to download the whole album. You can just stream the song you want, if you like. But just as importantly, you can access it in any way you choose. So maybe you want to access this via WhatsApp. Maybe you want to access it via SIP or PSTN. There's lots of different ways that we can do that. And here is the diagram that shows it. Now, we saw that quite a lot of people are using WhatsApp. WhatsApp is used by getting on for 3 billion people. And I just want to take a moment to just share something around this because it seems like WhatsApp might be just another integration. But if you think about the problems we currently have with robocallers and people spoofing their caller ID, that's a big problem in our industry, isn't it? And we've got things like stir, shaken, and other protocols and other regulatory things. But do you remember when you signed up for WhatsApp? You had to prove your ownership of that telephone number, didn't you? And so this has really leapfrogged that security piece. And so now, if you're an enterprise, wouldn't it be great if you could connect to people who you knew were already properly identified, who own that phone number, who are going to connect to you via their favorite communications app, the one they use to connect with all their friends and send messages to them. Imagine having that access to a telco-grade platform that can do conversational AI, that can connect you to the public switch telephone network or to Microsoft Teams or whatever it might be. And so you can see here or over there, we've got transcoding, recording, conversational AI, all the kind of things that you'd want inside a network, but we're connecting on multiple channels. And one of the things I'm going to demo in a minute is a WhatsApp integration too, because that's like the big news at the moment, getting WhatsApp into this core, the Simwood potato, if you like, so it can connect to all of the other different things that are there. In fact, I'm going to do a real-life demo right now. I always think with demos, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So I'm going to try a demo with you here, and I'm going to actually demo 3 different things at once. I'm going to put WhatsApp here, and I've got it set up. I've called this demonstration WhatsApp Doc, because I've put together a conversational AI that does health services. And so if you check the messages, I'm just going to send it a quick message to say, I'm having breathing problems, because this is a health service demo that I put together. So, of course, WhatsApp, we can do messaging and we can do calls as well. And those calls can be directed in different ways. We can direct the call path in one way and the messaging in the other. This is coming through to a conversational AI. And can you see, this actually took me about 2 minutes to create this conversational AI. It's only pointed at nhs.uk and webmd.com. That's all it's pointed at. And I've just told it to answer health questions. And I'm going to say, look, I don't have time for a demo. What I want to do is speak to a doctor. So I'm going to put, can I speak to a doctor? Whoops, please. And watch what happens when I say that.
Go see the doctor.
You're going to see it's going to pop up and say, look, actually, well, you're already in WhatsApp. Just hit the call button in WhatsApp. So the messaging has been going to a conversational AI. Now, the doctor happens to work in an industry, in that health service industry, where they've got a lot of Microsoft Teams. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place that call. Here we go. And it's going to come through on my Teams. You should see it, there it is. This is Microsoft Teams coming up. And so when I answer it like this, you'll see that this is my Teams, and we've got a voice path there. So this looks like a simple demo, but it's actually demonstrating three things. It's demonstrating our WhatsApp integration straight into the Simwood Potato, the conversational AI that's addressable via text or voice. I could have directed the voice path to it as well, but I wanted to go direct to a doctor. I'm Dr. Duffett in this case. And then our Teams integration as well. So I'm going to hang up and come back to the very end of the presentation here. These things put together now allow the world's #1 consumer communications application to connect to the world's favourite business communications application, being Microsoft Teams, and none of that touched the public switch telephone network. It came directly through the Simwood Potato, which is an offering that we can give to other people as well. Love to see you if you want to come and chat. If you want to test out yourself, I've got the WhatsApp number that you can try it on. But for now, let me say it's been a pleasure talking to you, a pleasure explaining all of these integrations. But of course, the real pleasure comes when you put this stuff to use. Thank you very much.